Hi guys, today I thought that I would do a bit of a chatty vlog of something that just was sort of in my head. It was in my brain and I thought that I would take it out of my brain and onto the camera and into video format. So I've been thinking a lot recently about the concept of internet friends, and I know that sounds really daft, but for Jill's leaving night, this was like Friday, and we were kind of laughing because obviously lots of different groups of our friends were there from, you know, friends from school and friends from uni and friends from work and whatever, and so there were a lot of different groups of people there interacting and getting introduced to one another. And so when we were getting introduced to people in a kind of jokey way, it was like, oh, these are my internet friends, and we all laughed. And we've talked about this so often before that, you know, sort of introducing blogging friends to other people can sometimes be not complicated, but it's sort of strange for people who are not in the bubble to understand, because when you say, oh, these are my friends that I met, you know, through Twitter and now we're all like best pals, people do, you know, sometimes find that a little bit strange, which in this day and age of internet dating and all that, you know, it shouldn't be that weird. But I don't know, I still feel like it seems kind of strange, and I'm also in a habit of sort of saying, oh, my blogging friends, because, you know, you're saying that just the way that you would say like my school friends or my work friends or my, you know, uni friends or whatever. It just kind of is how you would refer to people, I guess, just without even really realising it over the past year or so. These people who are just like, you know, folk that you've, you know, read their blog posts or whatever, have really become such a massively huge part of my life and such an important part of my life, and people who I really don't go a day without speaking to, which I think is kind of amazing. These are people that, you know, without blogging and without YouTube and without Twitter, that I would never have met. You know, the very fact that I was at Jill's leaving night the other night and that was such a big deal and it was such a big thing, and like Roisin and I are already like, oh, we're going to plan our trip down to London to visit you once you move, and we'll be there soon to sort of catch up with you and make sure you're settling in okay and all that. And this time last year I hardly knew Jill. I'd met Jill maybe, I don't know, 4 times or something at this time last year. My bra strap is on show because my vest is not in the right place. But yeah, like I hardly knew her. I remember the first time we had like a proper chat, and it was at an event in Glasgow. But, you know, I hardly knew her. And then since then I've spent New Year with her. I went to Big Weekend with her. She's one of these people that I very rarely go a day without speaking to. And, you know, exactly the same goes for Roisin. This time last year, didn't really know Roisin all that well. I had met her at a few events. And then it kind of is one of those things where you meet someone at a few events and you chat to them, and then another event comes up and you don't really know anyone else that's going, but then that person's going, so you meet up beforehand or whatever. And, you know, I don't know, one thing leads to another and suddenly you are speaking to these people every day. Like with Roisin, you know, over the past maybe few months, there's been very rarely a week that I haven't actually seen her, and very rarely a day that I haven't spoken to her. Same with Jill, same with my blogging friends from through in Edinburgh, who I spent New Year with and who I went on holiday to Aberfeldy with last November. Like, a group of us just had clicked so quickly and got on so well and had so much in common that we're like, let's go on holiday together. And we're like planning future trips together and stuff. And, you know, it just sort of, it really blows my mind that if I hadn't started my blog and if I hadn't started YouTube and I hadn't sort of started using Twitter and whatever, then these people who are such an integral part of my sort of circle now wouldn't be in my life, and I wouldn't have them, and my life would look very, very different. And I think also, you know, not to get too deep and meaningful and mushy, but I really do think that the whole blogging thing and the friendships that I've made from blogging has really impacted on my confidence as just a human being in general, because I never was the most confident of people when I was younger. I was really shy when I was a teenager and whatever, and I think that the friendships that I've made through blogging and the fact that I really pushed myself to go to blogging events and stuff when I didn't know anyone, and I just made myself go and meet these people and whatever, really has changed the way that I sort of live my life, I guess. It's made me feel a lot more confident about meeting new people. It's shown me that there are people out there who it's really, if you don't take a chance, you might not meet them and you might not get to have them in your life. And I definitely think that's an attitude I need to try and take into other parts of my life, because, you know, I think when you've always been a kind of shy person, it can still kind of be there under the surface even once you're feeling more confident and whatnot. But yeah, this is just basically a rant about how excellent my vlogging friends are and how much I love them. But no, it more just says, I think, if you don't have a blog or you don't make YouTube videos or whatever because you're not interested, that's fine. If you want to but you don't feel confident about doing it, or maybe you do have a blog but you haven't had the confidence yet to go to a meetup or a blogging event, please go, because honestly it will be the best thing that you'll ever do, because you will meet people there, you know, who could potentially change your life. You could meet people who are lovely to have a wee chat to for 5 minutes, or you could meet people who are going to be friends for life, which I would like to think is what I have done through this little internet portal situation. And you meet people, like there's a blogger who I met last summer-ish, called Nikki, who was in my last video, and I'll put a link to Nikki's blog down below. But I met Nikki at an event that I organised. Actually, it was just a meet up in Glasgow, but I met her for the first time, and just instantly I was just like, you are a nice bit, I like you, we're gonna get on. And she's one of the loveliest people that I have met, you know, in a really long time. And if I hadn't organised that meetup, if I hadn't started my blog, if I hadn't started promoting my blog on Twitter, if I hadn't started going to events, if I hadn't organised my own meetup, I might never met Nikki. And she's one of the nicest people that I have met in ages. So take a chance, be brave, because it's not easy. It's really not easy, especially if you know, especially the first couple of like events or meetups or whatever that you go to, you're going to feel like a little bit nervous, because I know I certainly did. But it's so worth it. What you get out of it is worth just pushing past the nerves and just, you know, going and enjoying yourself, because it's a great way of meeting people who have really similar interests, and who you can then kind of, it starts off that they have similar interests to, but then they just kind of can become your actual just pals, which is a really great thing. But yeah, there's a ramble for you. I just felt the need to discuss that because it was rolling around in my brain. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So that's today's vlog. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you tomorrow. And tonight's track of the day, which I forgot to mention at the end of the last bit of footage, is a song called Ships in the Night by Kearney, and as usual I will link that in the description box below. Thanks for watching, bye! And then I've got this nail polish from Barry M. which is the sugar apple one that I bought the other day in the vlog on